Hello everybody, this is Stefan from Lush and Salty Aquariums. How are we doing? Thought I'd give you an update on this particular aquarium. I called it the bogwood or the midnight blue or the biotope. It was different things over the last couple years, but it always had this fabulous piece of driftwood, spiderwood, I think. But it was a $30 piece of wood I found at the bottom of, on the floor at a local fish store, and it spoke to me. It was awesome, full of nooks and crannies, myriad rootstock, and a nice color, and pieces of larger scape that would come out of the aquarium, which was my original concept, and it has lasted through all the concepts. And I have a what do you call it, spider plant growing out from the top. You see its root stock, which I think is awesome. I love the way that looks, as well as the leaves coming out. I've got some pothos in the back, and then floating up top, duckweed and frogbit. I keep that down here because literally I want more light coming into this tank. It's always dark and brooding, which was the intent, but I actually want some more light. Now, right now it's not in its most attractive light, to be honest with you. I could adjust for that, but there's no ambient light. I find with ambient light coming from that window, it's actually better. But here we are. Look at the Anubias, which is growing like totally along the bottom. So new fresh growth along that rhizome, which is the stalk that the leaves come out of. In the back, the dying growth. And you see the shrimps and what have you are gonna ultimately take care of that. I'm not clipping. I'm sort of letting it go as it wants to go. I think that's sort of how it would work in nature, so that's what I'm letting happen here. Inside of this wood, other than my awful reflection, there's actually a couple pea puffers, and then the main fish are a bunch of my male endlers, no females, and a couple fancy guppies from a long time ago. These are old men, but I've kept them in there since day one. I had 6 in the beginning, there's 2 now, and they're sort of the patriarch of all of these frisky endlers, and there's all different kinds. Black bar, wing eye, there's a gorgeous one there. These all come from my other guppy tanks. And then there's 2 of these high fin tetras, the albino variety. I had 6 over a year ago. I'm down to 2. I had originally concepted always just having kind of white fish in the dark bog, and that worked. And it ran its course, and then I had so many guppies, I added them, and then I added some cherry shrimp, and now there's millions of those in here. My daughter, whose room we are in, she's in college now, but she'll put her fingers in and the shrimp come up and literally like nibble on her fingers, the dead skin, and she loves that and has put pictures of that on her Instagram. It's pretty cool. I hadn't seen that in my fish videos that I love to watch, but they will do that. They'll come up if they're happy and just jump on your fingers and start nibbling. I've got a lot of cherry shrimp in there. Obviously, the fish do not predate upon them because they are reproducing. There's a rabbit snail in here, which is a cool invertebrate species. I don't see them right now, but they're bigger and they have a really cool deep yellow fleshy body, and they creep and crawl along, and they're kind of a neat creature for, I wouldn't say nano, but small to medium and any size above. So this tank is doing good, maybe better than good. I wish it was more awesome. I'm not super happy with the fish stock. It's a little random, but I don't know what I can do with the rest of these guppies, and so I am trying to make it work. What do you think? They're happy. I mean, guppies could stand harder water than what I have in here, but they seem to be doing great. And what I mean by harder water is I would have a more of a stone scape to put some calcium and those sorts of minerals into the water, harder water for the guppies. But in this very acidic tank, they seem to be doing super fine. They'll eat anything. I love to feed live food in all my tanks, which is why I can sustain large populations and keep them happy and vigorous, generating their hunting instinct as they go after the little creatures. I have Daphnia that I feed as well, and live blackworms that I order online and keep in the refrigerator, much to my wife's chagrin. But I love live food. I think it's worth it. I think it's part of the fun of the hobby. What do you think? I'm sort of getting ready to do some kind of change here, but what should it be? Thoughts, ideas? Rate this tank. I can take it. As always, keep your hands in your tanks. Ciao for now.